that to build good cars and develop good EVs, you need strong core technology. R&D is the new long march of scientific and technological independence and self-reliance.
This just happened. BYD's CEO walked on stage, calm, collected, and carrying a secret that would rattle the entire automotive world. No flashy theatrics, no overhype, just a quiet confidence, followed by a revelation that sent shockwaves through every EV boardroom on the planet. In less than 5 minutes, he unveiled a hybrid engine so advanced, so brutally efficient, it didn't just challenge electric vehicles, it threatened to erase them. No charging delays, no range anxiety, no compromises, just raw performance, unmatched mileage, and a blueprint that could turn the entire EV revolution upside down. The crowd went silent. Whispers turned into gasps. Could this really be the future? Had the death of EVs just been announced? Not by a critic, but by one of the industry's biggest innovators? While Tesla fans scramble for answers and legacy automakers rethink everything, one question rises above the rest. How did we not see this coming? So before we find out what BYD's new hybrid engine is, we have to go back in time, back to where it all began. Because BYD wasn't always a global powerhouse. In fact, their rise is one of the most unexpected stories in modern tech history. The rise of BYD. Before it became a titan in the global auto industry, BYD was barely a blip on the radar. In 1995, it wasn't building cars. It was making rechargeable batteries in a small workshop in Shenzhen, China. Founded by Wang Chuanfu, a quiet but fiercely driven engineer, BYD started with just 20 employees. Most experts dismissed it. Nobody expected a battery company to take on tech giants, let alone automakers. But Wang saw what others didn't. The future would be electric, and BYD would build it from the ground up. By the early 2000s, BYD stunned the world by entering the auto market. Critics laughed. How could a battery company build cars? But Wang wasn't trying to copy. He was trying to outthink. He began acquiring car manufacturing plants and talent. In 2008, BYD launched the F3DM, the world's first mass-produced plug-in hybrid, a full year before the Chevy Volt. The world took notice. Then came 2008's defining moment. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway bought a 10% stake in BYD. Suddenly, the obscure Chinese brand had global credibility. Buffett wasn't betting on a car company. He was betting on a vision. And BYD delivered. Over the next decade, it became China's top EV maker. While others focused only on luxury, BYD targeted the masses: buses, taxis, affordable sedans. Their vehicles started appearing across Asia, Europe, and South America. Quietly but steadily, BYD was building an empire. By 2022, BYD overtook Tesla in global EV sales, not in revenue, but in sheer volume. And unlike its competitors, BYD controls nearly every part of its supply chain, from batteries to semiconductors. That vertical integration gave them an edge no one could match. But Wang wasn't finished. In 2024, BYD made a strategic pivot: hybrid technology. With fuel prices unstable and charging infrastructure lagging in many countries, Wang saw an opportunity. The result? A new generation of ultra-efficient hybrids that deliver the performance of an EV without the limitations of charging stations. This wasn't just innovation, it was disruption. From battery startup to global auto disruptor, BYD's rise is a story of quiet ambition, relentless innovation, and a refusal to play by the rules. And now, with their latest hybrid breakthrough, they're not just reshaping the market, they're rewriting the future of transportation. Now, let's know about BYD's hybrid engine. What is BYD's new hybrid engine? In the world of cars, most people thought it was a simple race. Electric versus gas. EVs were the future. Gas was the past. But BYD just blurred that line, and maybe even erased it. So, what exactly is this new engine that's got the entire auto industry talking? It starts with a technology BYD has been refining for years. Their dual-mode hybrid system, known as DMI and DMP. Now, don't let the name scare you. This isn't your average hybrid. Most hybrids just switch between electric and gas to save a bit of fuel. But BYD's system? It's a complete reinvention. At the heart of it is a gasoline engine that's incredibly efficient. More efficient than almost anything else on the road. BYD has achieved over 46% thermal efficiency. For context, most traditional engines waste more than half of the fuel as heat. But this one? It turns almost half of the fuel's energy directly into motion. That's a record-breaking number, and it puts BYD ahead of even Toyota, the longtime hybrid king. Now pair that engine with BYD's high-performance electric motors and battery systems, and you get a car that seamlessly switches between electric and gas depending on the situation. In city traffic, the electric motor takes over, quiet, clean, and cost-effective. On the highway, the engine kicks in, giving you the kind of long-distance reliability EVs can't match yet. The result? A real-world driving range of over 2,000 kilometers, that's more than 1,200 miles, on a single tank and a full charge. Think about that. That's like driving from New York to Miami without stopping to refuel. Or from Delhi to Mumbai and back again without plugging in once. This isn't just convenience, it's a paradigm shift. Because one of the biggest complaints about EVs is range anxiety. Where do I charge? What if I'm in a remote area? What happens during long road trips? BYD's hybrid solves all of that without giving up electric efficiency. And here's the kicker. These new hybrids don't need massive batteries. That means lower cost, faster production, and less dependence on rare minerals like lithium and cobalt. So, how does it compare to full EVs? Let's break it down. EVs are great for the environment and city driving, but they rely heavily on infrastructure, charging stations, long charging times, and consistent grid access. BYD's new hybrids deliver 90% of the EV experience, with 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration in just seconds, smooth electric drive in traffic, and incredibly low emissions. But when you need range, power, and freedom from the plug, the engine is there to take over. It's the best of both worlds, without the worst of either. And there's another layer. BYD's DMP models are performance hybrids. They're not just efficient, they're fast. Some can go 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 5 seconds, all while getting over 40 kilometers per liter, 94 plus miles per gallon. This means whether you're a commuter, a long-distance traveler, or even a performance enthusiast, BYD's got something that fits your needs and outpaces most of what's currently on the market. So when BYD's CEO unveiled this tech, it wasn't just a product launch, it was a declaration. A declaration that the electric future might not be fully electric after all. It's a hybrid. It's smarter. It's longer lasting. And it's already here. But as BYD charges forward with this game-changing hybrid tech, a bigger question begins to surface. What does this mean for electric vehicles? Because if this engine lives up to the hype, then the entire EV industry might be standing on shaky ground. Here's why EVs might be in serious trouble. For over a decade, electric vehicles have been seen as the golden path to a cleaner, greener future. No tailpipe emissions, no dependence on fossil fuels, sleek designs and cutting-edge tech. But lately, the dream has been colliding with reality. It starts with one of the most frustrating issues for EV owners: charging infrastructure. Imagine this. You're on a long road trip, low on battery, and your navigation shows the nearest charging station is 20 kilometers off route. And when you get there, it's already in use. Or worse, it's broken. This isn't just a rare scenario. It's happening daily, even in major cities. A paraphrased testimonial from an EV owner sums it up. "I love my EV in theory, but the charging hassle is real. On more than one occasion, I've had to cancel plans because I couldn't find a charger in time. And even when you can find one, charging takes time, sometimes hours. Compare that to filling up a tank of gas in just a few minutes. It's a difference that matters, especially for people with busy lives or unpredictable schedules. Then there's battery degradation, the silent killer of EV performance. Over time, every charge cycle chips away at an EV's total range. What starts as a 400-kilometer battery might drop to 300 kilometers within just a few years. And replacing that battery? It can cost thousands. Now add cold weather into the mix. EV owners in colder climates often report their range dropping by 30% to 50% during winter. Heating the cabin, warming the battery, and maintaining performance in freezing temperatures, it all drains power fast. These pain points have been quietly piling up. And while the EV industry works hard to fix them, BYD took a completely different approach. Solve them now, not later. With their new ultra-efficient hybrids, BYD sidesteps every single one of these issues. No charging station? No problem. You have a full tank of gas ready to go. Battery degradation? Minimal impact, because the vehicle doesn't rely 100% on electric power. Long charging times? Gone. You refill the gas tank in minutes, just like any traditional car. Cold weather performance? The engine supports the system, keeping everything running smoothly regardless of climate. And here's what really shakes the market. BYD hybrids now cost less than many full EVs. Take their Chin Plus DMI, for example. A sleek, spacious hybrid sedan with a real-world range over 2,000 kilometers, starting at under $15,000 in China. That's cheaper than many entry-level EVs with half the range and double the charging hassle. A recent owner described the experience like this. "I wanted an EV, but then I saw the BYD hybrid. Same smooth drive, better range, no charging anxiety, and it was cheaper. It was a no-brainer." And they're not alone. In markets across Asia and Latin America, BYD hybrids are flying off the lots, outselling traditional EVs by a wide margin. People want electric efficiency, yes, but they also want reliability, convenience, and affordability. And that's the threat. Because BYD didn't just improve hybrid technology, they made it more practical than most EVs. While EV makers are still trying to build the future, BYD might have already delivered it. It's not that EVs are doomed, but the momentum they once had? It's no longer guaranteed. Consumers are waking up, and they're asking a tough question. Why buy an EV when a BYD hybrid does everything better, cheaper, and without the stress? And while BYD's hybrid breakthrough is already shaking up the consumer market, its ripple effects are spreading far beyond car dealerships. Because this isn't just a shift in technology, it's a global disruption that could reshape industries, economies, and the balance of power in the auto world. Here's how BYD's innovation is impacting the world stage. BYD's hybrid Bombshell didn't just shake the ground beneath electric vehicles, it sent shock waves around the world. It all starts in China, where BYD has already become the undisputed king of clean cars. In 2023, they sold more new energy vehicles than any other automaker on Earth, surpassing Tesla in unit volume. But what's more impressive isn't just how many vehicles they're selling, it's where they're sending them. In just the past 2 years, BYD has launched a global export blitz. In Europe, their sleek models, like the Seal and Atto 3, are already appearing on the roads of Germany, France, and the UK. In Latin America, BYD taxis and buses are becoming a common sight in cities like São Paulo and Santiago. And in Southeast Asia, countries like Thailand and Malaysia are now importing BYD hybrids faster than they can be unloaded at port. It's not just a product, it's a takeover. But when it comes to the United States, the road gets complicated. Tariffs, trade restrictions, and rising geopolitical tensions between Washington and Beijing have kept Chinese EVs out of the American mainstream, for now. But make no mistake, BYD is watching. And with manufacturing plants already being set up in Mexico and plans to expand abroad, it may only be a matter of time before they find a backdoor into North America. Meanwhile, the rest of the auto world is scrambling to catch up. Toyota, once the global leader in hybrids, is now racing to upgrade its tech after years of focusing on hydrogen and falling behind in EV innovation. Honda is quietly investing in hybrid R&D again, realizing that BYD's approach may be more realistic than a fully electric push, especially in emerging markets where charging infrastructure is still years away. And for EV-only companies like Tesla, Rivian, NIO, and Lucid, the pressure is mounting. Tesla still dominates the US EV scene, but BYD's pricing and range advantages are turning heads globally. Rivian and Lucid, focused on high-end electric vehicles, are facing a brutal truth. Consumers may not want expensive EVs when cheaper. Longer-range hybrids are available now. As one analyst recently put it, BYD didn't just launch a car, they launched a global strategy. And it's working. From factory floors in Shenzhen to car dealerships in Berlin, from mining contracts in South America to political debates in Washington, BYD's hybrid revolution is no longer just about cars. It's about power, influence, and the future of mobility worldwide. So, with global markets shifting, industry giants reacting, and EV momentum facing real challenges, the question is no longer, what's happening? It's, how does this affect you? Because whether you're a driver, investor, or just someone watching from the sidelines, BYD's hybrid revolution is about to change more than just cars. It's about to change your choices, your costs, and your future. Here's what this means for you. So with all the hype, headlines, and the hybrid revolution in full swing, what does this mean for you? Let's say you're in the market for a new car. You're thinking about, maybe even dreaming of, getting an electric car. But something's holding you back. The price, charging, the uncertainty. Well, you're not alone. Across the world, millions of drivers are now asking, should I buy a hybrid car? And the answer might surprise you. First, let's talk about the reality of infrastructure. Despite all this progress, most areas still don't have the charging network needed to support widespread adoption of electric vehicles. In cities, it's better. But in rural areas, long-distance routes, or developing countries, charging stations are few and often unreliable. This makes electric vehicles great in theory, but still risky in practice. The BYD hybrid, on the other hand, gives you electric power for your everyday commute and a fuel backup for everything else. It's like having one foot firmly frozen in the present while still keeping one foot in the future. And when it comes to future safety, that matters. A fully electric car can quickly lose its resale value in areas where charging isn't widely available. But a hybrid? It offers flexibility, and flexibility is valuable. Whether the world goes all electric in 5 years or 15, a hybrid keeps you safe. Now, what about the environment? While electric vehicles are still the cleanest option over time, hybrids, especially BYD's ultra-efficient models, come surprisingly close. They run in electric mode during city driving, where most pollution occurs, and their high thermal efficiency means that even with the engine running, emissions are much lower than conventional vehicles. It's not perfect, but it's a big step forward, and it's here now. So let's put all of this together. Hybrids like BYD solve the charging problem. They're more economical than many electric vehicles. They have a higher resale value in uncertain markets. And they're also beneficial for the environment, especially in urban use. That raises a big question. Will this be the smartest car in 5 years? For many drivers, the answer is probably yes. Because sometimes the smartest car isn't the flashiest. It's the one that quietly makes everything a little better.